What da danyo ho what da dang dang. Hango danyo ho what da dang dang. This is the Black Pot, aka Kuku Show them out, where we speak truth to power. Oh gosh. Now here we don't criticize, but if we must criticize, we'll only just criticize to build and not to destroy. Because we are in the service of God and country. This is the voice of the people, and the voice of the people is the voice of God. This is the Black Pot. And remember, we don't criticize, but if we must criticize, it must be on one condition. Oh yes. Yes, one condition: to build and never ever to destroy. Now today we have a number of issues we want to look at, and I need you to come along, my brother, my sister. Now the very first story we are looking at today is coming from 3news.com, one of the most authentic sources of news online. And this one here says review the unmerited 12.5 billion Ghana cedi tax exemptions given to politically favored companies. And this is coming from Franklin Kujo. And he's telling Amin Adam, the new finance minister. I read it. Founding president of Imani Africa, Franklin Kujo, has told the Minister of Finance, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, to immediately review the tax exemptions that have been given to some companies. Mr. Kujo described the companies that have been given the tax exemptions as politically favored. Finance Minister met tax authorities today, demanding they do well to realize more taxes so Ghana can meet her obligations under the IMF fair. Fair, yes, that is fair. But I think Honorable Mohammed Amin Adam should do immediately what Honorable Mohammed Amin Adam should do is immediately to review the unmerited 12.5 billion tax exemptions he and his previous boss agreed, mostly to favor political companies. Now, my brother, let us go straight into this and attack it by the jugular vein. Nothing is going to change under this government. Mate or driver, the value is the same. Now listen to the communication. The guy here, Amin Adam Anta, just became the finance minister barely 3 days ago. And he's talking about taxes. My brother, he's talking about taxes. Bawumia, who is the new leader of the party, told us some time ago, and he still pretends to stand by that their government will move away from a taxation government to a productivity or production-centered government. Should I break it down? My brother, nobody likes taxes. It takes the strong-willed to say, oh yes, taxes are good, especially when governments put taxes to the right use. We live in a country where we don't see what our taxes are used for. We live in a country where taxation simply means punishment for nothing. My brother, my sister, when Bawumia told us that the economy will be production-centered, we were glad and happy. When he added that it was going to run away from taxation, run away from a tax-centered economy to a production or productivity-centered government, we said, oh wow, that is beautiful. Today, my brother, my sister, they have introduced taxes more than even in the ancient Roman regime of Caesar. Should I say it again? When Baumia promised us that he would take this country away from a tax-centered country, we believed him. Today, his government has inflicted us with taxes more than even in the ancient Roman Empire led by Caesar. Hallelujah. My brother, when Nicodemus and the rest of them, when the tax collectors were all running around, the people hated them. Because for them, they were just inflicting pain on them. No wonder many of them went to Jesus Christ and asked him, what shall we do? Shall we pay taxes? And he said, when you look at the coin, whose head do you see? They said, the Caesar. He said, give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and give unto God what is God's. My brother, it is good to pay taxes, especially if the taxes are put to the right use. But when your tax money becomes fuel for campaign, political campaign, when your taxes become fuel for political campaigns to win elections, my brother, my sister, it calls for alarm. Anta is going around telling them that in the name of the IMF, not even in the name of Ghana, please collect more taxes. Hallelujah. It hurts me, my brother. Barely 1 week in power as the new finance minister, the first thing he did was to run to Diana and ask for his blessing. I applauded that because it gives traditional authority, power, and recognition. I love that. My brother, my sister, the next thing he did, please collect more taxes. How can you, my brother, my sister, get taxes when productivity is low? Everybody in Ghana is crying right now. Nobody wants to pay taxes, not because they don't want to pay, but because they don't have it to pay. Companies are closing down. I am going on a nationwide patriotic tour. My brother, my sister. So many of the companies we wrote back to us crying. They wish they could give something. Unfortunately, they can't. The country is suffering from internal bleeding, internal hemorrhage. And those of you who know a little bit of medicine, you know that that is more dangerous than any other thing. My brother, my sister. Now, our very good friend Franklin Kujo is saying that some companies in Ghana have been given tax holidays. And according to him, those companies are politically favored companies. In other words, they have political faces. My brother, taxes are supposed to be blanket. Whether you are tall or short, you are supposed to pay taxes as long as you are in a certain category. But to start slapping political favoritism on some of these companies, my brother, it is corruption, favoritism, nepotism, pluralism, cronyism. That is what it is. Thank you, Franklin Kujo, for bringing this out. I would like to say, yes, we would like to pay taxes, but we cannot pay taxes if we cannot produce and earn anything. If the there is not there, you cannot force the there to be there. This is the Black Port. Next thing I want to look at is coming from Graphic Online. That's our national communicator. It says, NDC to investigate and prosecute persons involved in Agyapa deal. And this is Sammy James talking. Yesterday they had a press conference. I'm sure he said this at a press conference. Listen. Now the opposition New Patriotic Party, I beg your pardon, National Democratic Congress, NDC, says it will investigate and prosecute all persons involved in the botched Agyapa royalties deal when voted into power. Speaking at a press conference dubbed the Moment of Truth at the party's headquarters in Accra on Monday, February 19, 2024, that's yesterday, the National Communications Officer of the NDC, Sammy James, said the flag bearer of the party, former President John Dramani Mahama, had informed him to inform Ghanaians that the next NDC government will investigate the stinking $12 million Agyapa scam, retrieve all illegal payments made under same, and ensure that all the perpetrators are prosecuted. Sammy James is a brilliant dude, and I truly admire him, my brother. But when we are in opposition and we are hungry for power, we see all the corruption. But when we come into power, we busy ourselves looting. We have no time to correct the ills. Should I say it again? Please note this down. When we are in opposition, we see all the corruption and all the ills. But when we get into power, we are busy taking our turn to loot rather than correcting the ills. How many people don't understand what I just said? My brother, when you are in opposition, you are with the people. You are saying exactly what the people want to hear. Yet when you get into power, you push the people to the background and start chalking a new route. It hurts me. The same things that you said that brought you into power. Why don't you follow them so that at least the majority of the people can heave a sigh of relief? Should I say it in another way? I remember my grandmother used to tell the younger women, the same dresses you used to wear to get the men love you and marry you, why do you stop wearing them? Think about it deeply. Nobody changes a winning formula. It's only a fool. My brother, my sister, Sammy James has spoken. We have seen it time and again, where political parties say everything we want to hear. Nana Akufo-Addo, the latest example. Yetisikaso, ensu yebre, misre mugana for, mumma mikwain, na meba, blah 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 blah. Today he told us that he has failed, and that the next MPP government, because we are foolish people, we will allow them to come again. They are those who will fulfill the promises. Upon Kruma, the arrogant information minister, former, came to tell us that they never promised Ghana heaven. In other words, they never promised Ghana perfection. My brother, my sister, it's sad when you vote them into power. When they want your votes, they are like humble lambs. Yet right when they get into power, they become lions, ready to devour anything that has life. My brother, my sister, it is clear that we are sad. We want to see a full-scale investigation into Cecilia, the past thing. We want to see a full-scale investigation into the dirty Agyapa deal. We want to see a full-scale investigation, my brother, my sister, into this government's corruption